morning to you. It's a beautiful Monday morning. It just started raining out there, and it's a raining Monday morning, rain of blessings. It will be for the new week. I am Olutayo Gwade, and I welcome you to your morning tonic, the Breakdown newspaper review on 32 FM 94.9.
My name is Dele Adeyoju. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
And my name is Chike Ubogu. Good morning.
Don't forget we are live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube this morning. Our handles 32FM 949 Ibadan, 32FM 949 Ibadan. Subscribe to our YouTube page, like our Facebook page. I have the Daily Post newspaper, the Nigerian Tribune, and the Independent newspaper. I take headlines from the Daily Post newspaper first. Army pounds bandits as terror attacks reach elites, politicians. Monsurat Ujwade, Lagos police conceal killer cops identity. High flood risk. Osun government warns residents of impending danger. Kogi government apologizes to Federal Fire Service for attack on staff vehicle. Bauchi Christians ready to take COVID-19 vaccine. Can tell state government. Presidency clarifies Buhari's warning to Zodima in Imo. Adesheun Ogundoyin Polytechnic gets new acting rector. Bursa. Cardinal government confirms killing of cleric in Zakun Kataf local government area. Secession, you can get whatever you want without dividing Nigeria. Imam to Yoruba nation agitators. Biafra, ex-Nigerian athlete Ekpa vows to return medals won for country. And just lastly, Nigerian Navy relocates logistics college, armament school, others.
All right, let's look at Premium Times. Bandits attack military base in Zamfara. 12 personnel pay supreme price. How police allegedly shot, killed teenager in Lagos. CGN orders disciplinary action against Abuja George, who issued criminal summons against Soludo. We have an interview here. Why MacArthur Foundation is investing billions in Nigeria. Africa Director Kole Shetima. Police arrest Trigger Happy Cop, who killed teenager in Lagos. CAF Champions League, Nigerian clubs start on winning note. What Buhari said in Imo presidency. VAT collection tussle. What appeal court ruling means by lawyers. Still from Premium Times, sit-at-home order against Igbo interest. Nnamani, I beg your pardon. Sit-at-home order against Igbo interest in Nnamani. Benin Airport road turns criminals. Soldiers allegedly beat taxi driver to death. Investigation commences. COVID-19 Nigeria records 2 deaths, 547 new infections in 16 states.
All right, from the Punch newspaper this morning, strike continues. NARD insists after meeting NMA as NDLEA intercepts 24,311 kilograms of heroin, codeine in Lagos. Osun cultists hack man to death. Amotekun arrests. Soludo's assets. CJN orders disciplinary action against FCT George. Navy to relocate bases in Lagos to Osun. Others. Bandits who fled to Niger military camp killed. Monarch regains freedom. VAT. 5 northern states, 2 southwest, 2 south among top beneficiaries. This is coming from the Punch newspaper. Italian nabbed for killing Nigerian wife. Envoy. NIDCOM seek justice. NIDCOM seek justice. It's waste paying extension workers without equipping them. Action aid. Sealed banks vow not to reopen Niger branches as Wike orders shanties demolition for harboring criminals. Obaseki celebrates Igbinedion, calls him gift. Unilag visitation panel alleges contract splitting, procurement act violation. Army, police beef up security in Sokoto after over threat of attack. Buhari hails Esu Nukbe at 69 as Nolge wants local government to collect VAT. Borno advises South. Killings. Plateau Assembly meets on Lalong as ultimatum ends. Buhari's speech on future invitations twisted. This is coming from the presidency. As federal government GDP growth meaningless with rising poverty. Who is saying this? Peter Obi, the former governor of Anambra State. And still in Anambra State, sit at home Obiano threatens to seal banks, sanction market leaders. Anambra APC Abga trade blame over deposed monarch's assassination. Will rescue abducted NDA officer without paying ransom. This is coming from the military. And all these are some headlines from the Punch newspaper this morning.
From the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, how VAT imbroglio can favor consumers. With its riders, allow VAT legal battle run full course. Ekweremadu advises the National Assembly. LCCI calls for caution, says development may confuse businesses. Total banking assets rise by 582 trillion naira. Forensic firm says it didn't indict Nigerian army on Lekki NSAS protest. Also, NDLEA intercepts heroin, codeine in fresh drug busts at Lagos Airport. Tinkan. Anglican RCCG pray for national unity against troublers of Nigeria. Lamido visits Obasanjo, says ex-president reinforces his faith in Nigeria. Fleeing bandits meet Waterloo in Niger military camp, scores killed. COVID-19 tests, federal government directs airlines to board passengers without evidence of payment. And also, we have this 2023 hide and seek in APC, PDP over zoning. Gumi Usman's statements on visit to Igbo town, part of absurdities in Nigeria, Afenifere. And finally, Osinbajo, Gbajabiamila, Sanwo-Olu, ex-governor's honor Awo in Lagos.
All right, let's go on a commercial break. When we return, it will be time for some analysis.
Uncle Dentist, wetin be cavities and how Colgate take dey protect my teeth from cavities? Shey dey use comfort?
No dear, na hole for teeth dey cause most tooth pain wey be cavity. But if you use Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection take brush every day, the confirmed formula go help keep natural calcium inside our teeth wey go protect them from tooth decay.
Time don reach to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate, because Colgate locks calcium in.
Now, the Nigerian Dental Association, they recommend Colgate. Sunshine makes the day better, meal times better, weekends better, chill times better, dates better, barbecues, beach parties, and even one bears better. Sunshine makes every bit better.
Lipton iced tea, Lipton iced tea, made from fresh tea leaves, soaked in hours of sunshine, and together with juicy fruit flavors, give you that deliciously refreshing taste. Top better life with sunshine in a bottle, available in peach and lemon flavors. Lipton iced tea, deliciously refreshing.
Láti gòkè àgùnlà láyé èèyàn nílò ìtọ́sọ́nà ẹni tó mọ̀nà débi àṣeyọrí. FMH International HR àwọn ni gbajúgbajà akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ alárinà tó mọ ojúlẹ̀jà bá ti ń tọ́ni sọ́nà finimọ̀nà nípa bí gbogbo òǹwáṣẹ́ ṣe lè pàdé àwọn òǹgbanisíṣẹ́ pàápàá jùlọ láwọn orílẹ̀-èdè tó wà lókè òkun.
FMH International HR alábàáṣepọ̀ gidi ni wọ́n jẹ́ pẹ̀lú àjọ oníwádìí ìjìnlẹ̀ àgbáyé tá a mọ̀ sí United Nations Volunteer Research Group láti jùmọ̀ tọpinpin wàhálà táwọn ọmọlẹ́yìn ń kojú nídìí ìgbìyànjú ajé lọ sílẹ̀ òkèèrè. Ìyẹn ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ mọ́ international migration àti international labour activities.
Ǹjẹ́ o tiẹ̀ mọ̀ pé o nílò ìmọ̀ tó jinlẹ̀ dáadáa nípa ìlànà à ń tẹ̀lé láwọn pápákọ̀ òfurufú tó fẹ́ gbà sọdá sílẹ̀ òkèèrè. Lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ bá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, United Nations Volunteer Research Group pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ FMH International HR ń ṣe research lórí ẹ̀dùn ọkàn àti ìpèníjà tẹ́ ẹ bá ní. Questionnaires táwọn òṣìṣẹ́ FMH bá fún yín lágbègbè yín lẹ́ ó ṣàlàyé ìrírí yín sí.
Fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ kàn sí wọn ní 3rd and 9th floor Cocoa House, Dùgbẹ̀, Ìbàdàn.
Telephone 0817 4444 627
àti 08168737222.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning, getting set for another day. Another chance to change my story. I believe in my hustle, I know be lazy person. But life is just a knock me gospels. If it don't close, I go find another. If I fall down, I go try to recover. If it ever walk me, I know they bother. Cause I believe, say, I go surely prosper. You don't get that shit, won't be. We move. No matter what they say, we move.
Whatever life brings, we move. Turn up your dreams. MTN, everywhere you go.
Star 987 # brother and sister, be free to follow your hustle. No time to waste time. Don't let malaria hold you Make sure you're protected. Star 987 hash. Correct malaria plan. Star 987 hash. You can tell malaria bye-bye. Star 987 hash. With AXA malaria plan.
Dial star 987 hash to subscribe to the AXA malaria plan with as low as 450 naira. AXA, know you can.
All right, welcome back. It's still the Break of Dawn newspaper review on 32 FM 94.9, the station where joy resides. I am Chike Ubogo.
Good morning to you and thank you for joining us. I am Olutayo Ogunade.
My name is Dele Adeyanju.
All right, from the Nation newspaper this morning, we have this story. Presidency, Buhari will respect court verdict on VAT. Doctors snub president's return to work plea. Buhari's comment in Owerri, quoted out of context, says presidency. Knocks for Gumi over visit to Igboho. CJN orders against Soludo. CJN directs sanction against FCT George. Some headlines here from the Nation newspaper.
All right, let's engage Dr. Jedokun. He's live with us on live on the phone, if I may put it that way. Good morning to you, Dr. Jedokun.
On top of the day to you, of course.
Great. All right. The promise by the federal government that the ban placed on the popular micro-blogging platform Twitter will be lifted soon appears to be fading away as the suspension hits 100 days today. The federal government had announced the suspension of Twitter operations in the country on the 4th of June after the social media giant deleted a post by President Muhammadu Buhari for violation of the company's abusive behavior policy. From the Guardian newspaper, 100 days after Twitter ban, uncertainty trails federal government's plan.
Yes, I think the government got themselves into a cool on this one. They're looking for a face-saving device, a face-saving encounter, and they haven't got it. In the meantime, what appears to be happening is that people are getting used to the lack of Twitter. They're going through alternative means to get onto Twitter. But what is clear is that Nigeria is worse off. The economy is suffering. And if you look at the share price of Twitter, it's not been dented at all. In fact, it's probably doing even better. So we are the ones suffering at the end of the day. It's the federal government, it's the Nigerian people, and it's Nigeria that is suffering. I think what the federal government wanted was that for Twitter to come with a face-saving statement, something that would indicate that the ban wasn't in vain. But it appears now that the ban has been in vain. And Nigeria remains one of the 4 countries in the world that doesn't have direct access to Twitter, which is a shame. Because some will suggest that this government came into power on the wave of openness, democracy, better governance, and transparency. And that doesn't appear to be happening. So I think it will be in the interest of the government at some point, if not for the Nigerian people in terms of business opportunities and some other opportunities, for them to, lift the ban on Twitter. A lot of people have said it's unconstitutional anyway, that it's unconstitutional, and that in a so-called democracy, you don't expect such to occur. But I think the federal government remains adamant.
All right, but looking at the ban here, has it been effective?
Well, not really. Well, to a certain degree, it's been effective because it affected businesses, and many small businesses are affected. But having said that, it's not been effective because people have been able to bypass it. I think the people that has been effective with are media houses. There is no radio station that would dare go on Twitter, and there is no television station that will advertise it. But the private citizenry of Nigeria, with the vast majority of the users of Twitter, do not care much.
Even government officials are still So is this just about, the media, radio, TV,
Yes, as you said, not just government officials, but high-ranking government officials have been known to tweet. So I think really it's comical. I think it's hypocritical. And I think it's the government basically half implementing it because it's not working to the fullest. But when I say it's working, I'm just concerned with so many who don't have the opportunity to go on. Because I go on it and I see the traffic from Nigeria has reduced. But also what is done is that it's publicized Nigerian domestic matters, because you go to countries like Lithuania, you go to countries like Norway, and Nigerian issues are trending. And they're trending why? because that's where most Nigerians go on the VPN. So the government is really washing its dirty linens in public by sort of externalizing most of our domestic issues.
All right, Dr. Ojedokun. Front page of the Nigerian Tribune has this headline: How VAT regulation can favor consumers. There's still a legal battle running, and we don't know when it's going to end. Well, it seems it's heading towards the Supreme Court. Right now, let's see, how does VAT favor consumers?
Well, I'm not sure that it directly favors consumers, but what it will do is that in certain states of the country, for instance, if the Lagos State begins to collect VAT for itself, it means that they're going to have millions and billions at their disposal, money they didn't have before. And so, of course, it means that the government is able to enter into more social, economic programs, expand the economy, and, of course, bring prosperity to the people in Lagos, and possibly for rivers. But we have states like Zamfara, we have states like Yobe, and even states in the southeast. There are states in the southeast and the south who may not benefit to that extent, which means that the economies will become impoverished. So it means that the consumers in the states will be worse off. So it really depends on where you are. It's not a one-size-fits-all for the impact. The impact is not that global. But I think at the end of the day, what we get is clarity as to whether we are operating a federation or a unitary state, whether the constitution is being complied with. But in the meantime, we get a sort of lacuna, we get a sort of stalemate. And that cannot be good for the economy, I don't think.
Dr. Ojedokun, isn't this a part of the restructuring we've been clamoring for?
Certainly, it's part of the fiscal restructuring. That's what we've been clamoring for, which means that we encourage people, we encourage states to develop means by which they can raise local taxes, and those local taxes can be used for the local areas. In other words, if this VAT is implemented, it means that many states that have not been created before may be forced to get off their backside rather than go to the waiting room of Abuja collecting allocations to develop their IGRs, to develop sales tax of various levels, so at least they can begin, you understand, to deal with local issues, with local resources, and not just relying on the petrol dollars that goes to the federal. And again, for the federal, it means that the size of their budget will be reduced, which means that the federal government will now be more sensitive to the priorities of the nation, and things that the states can do, the federal government will leave them for the states rather than dabbling into state matters and state functions. So things like education, things like, in some instances, transportation, other areas that are supposed to be left for the states, they will leave them for the states to deal with from that point of view. And they will begin to appreciate some of the input of the state, especially when it comes to supporting the security forces and the police.
And thankfully, too, there's no state in this country that is not viable. The governors only need to think outside of the box, like we said even last week, harness whatever potentials there is in their state. And of course, they'll stay afloat and be able to also become self-sustaining and also contribute meaningfully to the center, as the case may be. Let's move on this morning. I think Chike has something there.
All right. From the Punch newspaper this morning, it says strike continues. NARD insists after meeting NMA. And the story here, the leadership of the Nigerian Medical Association on Sunday met with the leaders of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors as part of efforts aimed at ending the resident doctors' lingering strike. This is coming from the Punch newspaper. The meeting was held barely 48 hours after the leadership of the NMA met with the president, Major General Muhammad Buhari, retired, at the presidential villa, Abuja. At the meeting, Buhari had urged striking health workers to return to their duty posts and appealed to others contemplating strikes to opt for settlements of issues by negotiating, no matter how long it will take. And it's here, it says, strike continues. National Association of Resident Doctors insists after meeting the NMA. When will this end, Doc?
We certainly don't know, but what we know is that the federal government has been trying to use the NMA as a leverage. They've been trying to use them as a negotiating tool on their behalf. But the interests of the NMA and the NAR, they are not always necessarily the same. Remember that the enemy are the wider doctors' body, while the NARD are the registrars. They call them residents in this country. In Nigeria, but they call them registrars in other places. So the registrars are really specialized doctors who are training to be consultants and who, by and large, are located in specialist hospitals, teaching hospitals. And their issues, as far as they're concerned, haven't been dealt with, haven't been addressed. So I think for them, the strike continues. I think what the federal government is trying to say is that they should negotiate. But some would suggest that under the International Labour Organization conventions and the various conventions, all this negotiation, all this strike is a means of negotiation, and strike is a legitimate means of negotiation. So they would claim that, well, we are negotiating, and strike is the way we negotiate. But the Nigerian masses, the way Nigerian masses see it, is that they are suffering. People are dying needlessly. And of course, the people that suffer here are not the Buharis, are not the Tinubus. They are people on the streets who cannot afford to go abroad for medical checkup, annual medical checkup, or for ailments. So at the end of the day, the nerd and the enemy also has to be aware that the people that suffer more are the Nigerian masses rather than the governors, the presidents, or the ministers.
All right, this lack of...
As when it will end...
All right, doctor, this lack of synergy between the resident doctors and the NMA is telling on the common man. Like you said, the people who are suffering this are not the Buharis, they're not the Tinubus. The common man on the streets is suffering.
Yes, they're suffering, and I think the NARD and NMA have to find a formula that either makes the government respond to them, or a formula that means that they would go back. Because as we've said it, people are suffering. But in the midst of this, what is also happening is that I feel by the time they go back to strike, there's going to be critical vacancies and critical shortages. Because in the midst of this, many of the doctors continue to relocate at an alarming pace. Here in the United Kingdom, they're looking for Nigerian doctors. In Saudi Arabia, they're searching for them. And when I use that word, searching for them, because they need our expertise, and we are the ones are not using them. So the more that they're not used, the likelihood is that they will go abroad, and our common man, the consistent and perpetual and endless suffering of the common man continue. So a way has to be found forward. So the NARD has to be engaged in such a way that they too realize that it's in their interest to find a way to end the strike.
All right, so let's look at this particular one from the Guardian newspaper. Our federal government expends 364 billion naira on petrol transportation. I am not staying there. I'd rather go to this one. Name terrorism sponsors to clear your name. MBF challenges federal government. The Middle Belt Forum has challenged the federal government to yield to public demand of unveiling the sponsors of Boko Haram, especially the 400 Bureau de Change operators, as identified by the United Arab Emirates UAE authorities, and absolve itself of culpability.
Yes, it's a bit suspicious, isn't it, that these 400 and so, that all of them are being covered up and we don't have their details of their names. Some would suggest that it's because of security concerns, and sometimes because of security concern, you don't reveal all the sponsors of terrorism and so on and so forth. But I don't agree with that, because already the federal government is looking. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying they're looking. They appear to be an accomplice in the sense, or culpable rather, in the sense that they appear to be covering up. I'm not saying they're covering up. I'm saying that's what it appears, because those accusations have been made. And I think the burden is on the federal government to dispel and to debunk those accusations. And the only way they can dispel and debunk them is by publishing the list of those who are the so-called sponsors of terrorism, who are going through the charges. And so let's know them, let's see the details, and let's know that the federal government of Nigeria is not in favor of them in any way, is not aiding them in any way or in any shape. So I think it's the right call, and I think the federal government should do the courageous thing or the right thing, and expose this list and reveal the list. That's my view anyway.
We've always asked this question. How come we find it very difficult, the federal government here, to cut the supplies? They have access to arms and ammunition, they have access to food, they have access to women, as the case may be. And so it's looking like the federal government is just fighting a losing battle. But if you look at the current onslaught, particularly in places like Zamfara, it's looking like there may be respite in sight very soon too. What do you feel?
Well, the government has always had the answers. Many analysts, including myself, have always believed that the government has always had the answers. And it's also only until recently when they deployed the full weight of the state in terms of the communication cutting off supply, transport and supply, and going after the command and control structure, that we have begun to see some results. We haven't seen the total result, but some results. So you begin to ask the question, why hasn't the government been able to deploy this in time past? They've been able to locate Kanu, they've been able to locate Igboho, you understand. The government has the intelligence and the reach. For some reason, the government has been quite reticent. Let's hope that this reticence of the government has now ended, and that wherever the terrorists are, whether they are in the northeast, the northwest, or the south or south, wherever they are, they will go after them, and they will disrupt their command and control supply. But what is very clear is that the task of going after the terrorists, in those places, is not a small job. It's a large and complicated job. Why? Because those people have sophisticated armory. They have weapons, they have money, they have material, but I think disrupting their communication supply, disrupting their supply links will help, because it confuses them. But they still have to go to battle with them, because many of them have sophisticated weaponry that in the past they've been able to show can bring down fighter jets.
All right, Doctor, we'll look at this headline, knocks for Gumi over visit to Igboho. We'll come back to you after this break. Don't go away.
Sunshine, you make me smile. You brighten my day. My sunshine in a bottle. In every way. No be lie, you give me refresh. I can't deny my sunshine drink. Oh yeah, show me your shine. Come make it chop better life. Mommy and daddy and everybody, show me your bottle job.
Chop better life with sunshine in a bottle with the refreshingly delicious Lipton iced tea. Available in peach and lemon flavors.
Lipton iced tea.
Lipton iced tea. Deliciously refreshing.
Babe, that girl must be using something.
Hey, Berry, what kind of something?
You to see how she's always smiling, displaying her 32.
You're cuckoo right. I know her secret. I know what she's using. She uses it twice a day.
Tell me her secret.
I'll give you a hint. ABZ.
ABZ?
Yes, ABZ is the secret. Close-Up contains antibacterial zinc, ABZ, which gives you 3 times more freshness and 3 times more protection. Better than your regular toothpaste. Now you know the ABZ secret.
The new Close-Up is her secret. Everybody must hear.
You can't keep a secret.
New Close-Up with antibacterial zinc. Triple the freshness, triple the protection.
Kids, Indomie welcomes you back to school. Have a session filled with lots of fun and excitement. Stay safe, stay healthy. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Many people just wonder how my toilet does to stay clean. How my toilet know they get germs. Number secret to my healthy family living. Power active clean soul. Clean soul toilet clean. They make it just no say. Clean soul toilet clean soul. Kills 99.9.
INT'L toilet cleaner. Small change, big difference for a healthy family.
Orílẹ̀-èdè Canada ó fún èèyàn tó lé ní mílíọ̀nù kan ní ìwé ọmọ onílẹ̀ láàrin ọdún 2021 sí 2023. Kò jẹ́jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí. Orílẹ̀-èdè Canada yóò fún àwọn ènìyàn tó ń lé ní mílíọ̀nù kan ní ìwé ọmọ onílẹ̀ láàrin ọdún 2021 sí 2023. Ọ̀gọ̀rọ̀ ohun àlùmọ́nì ilẹ̀ ló sodo sí orílẹ̀-èdè Canada. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìbá díẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti ìṣàmúlò rẹ̀ láàrin ẹgbàágbèje ohun àlùmọ́nì ọ̀hún. Èyí rí bẹ́ẹ̀ látàrí ọ̀wọ́n ènìyàn tó ń bá orílẹ̀-èdè náà fínra. Bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé Canada ní orílẹ̀-èdè kejì tó ní ilẹ̀ jùlọ lágbàáyé, ṣùgbọ́n ìwọ̀nba ènìyàn ni wọ́n ń gbé ní orílẹ̀-èdè náà. Onírúurú ètò láti rìnrìn àjò sí orílẹ̀-èdè Canada ló ti wà nílẹ̀. Ìwọ náà lè lo àǹfààní ètò àti kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kó o sì máa ṣiṣẹ́. Aṣáájú agbanímọ̀ràn bí a ti ń rìnrìn àjò káàkiri àgbáyé ní Jonathan King Limited. Kàn sí wọn, wọ́n fọ̀nà hàn ọ́.
Gba fọ́ọ̀mù tiẹ̀ lónìí ní Jonathan King Limited, àjà kínní àti ìkẹfà Cocoa House Ìbàdàn, àti ní The Bronx Bookshop lẹ́bàá Saviour Cathedral níjẹ̀bú Òde. 20 oṣù kẹsàn-án 28th of September ní ìforúkọsílẹ̀ yìí ó wà sópin o.
Star 987 # brother and sister, be free to follow your hustle. No time to waste time. Don't let malaria hold you down. Make Make sure you're protected. Star 987 Ash. Correct malaria plan. Star 987 Ash. You can tell malaria bye-bye. Star 987 Ash. With AXA malaria plan.
Dial star 987 hash to subscribe to the AXA malaria plan with as low as 450 naira. AXA, know you can.
Welcome back from the commercial break. It's 32 FM 94.9 Break It On Newspaper Review.
All right, I am Chike Ubogu, and from this headline from the Nation newspaper, it says knocks for Gumi over visit to Igboho, and it says the Yoruba Nation agitators, supporters of Chief Sunday Adeyemo, also known as Sunday Igboho, his mother and kinsmen at the weekend warned controversial Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi to stay away from the Yoruba land. They described Gumi's recent visit to Igboho town as suspicious and insensitive. Gumi, a video which surfaced online on the 7th of September, was seen standing with Professor Usman Yusuf, a former chief executive officer of the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, near a signboard that read Muslim Grammar School, Modeke Igboho, the hometown of Sunday Igboho. The cleric said with what he had seen, there was no need for any group to seek secession. In another viral video obtained by the Nation newspaper at the weekend, Sheikh Abdurrahim Aduanigba, chief imam of the Yorubas in Ilorin, Kwara State, led other leaders to Igboho town with Igboho's mother. They visited the spot where Gumi had shot the video during his visit to the town and offered prayers to nullify any ulterior motives he might harbor. And the headline says, knocks for Gumi over visit to Igboho. Doctor offering prayers, having suspected ulterior motives by Sheikh Gumi. Very, very funny act there, but very sensitive one too.
Yes, very sensitive one, very funny. I mean, you can't, it's Nigerian drama. And of course, prayers always play out in the Nigerian drama, whether genuine prayers or not. But let's get to the facts. The reality of it is that Gumi has been going all over the place. Initially, he was fraternizing with the terrorists. When I mean fraternizing, acting as their mediator, acting as their spokesman. And of recently, he was claiming that the onslaught and the attack on the terrorists in Zamfara was the wrong thing to do, and that a ministry should be set up, a ministry of herdsmen should be set up. So Gumi basically has been involved in controversial moves. Some would suggest, the cynics would suggest, that he's trying to counterbalance it by trying to be seen as a neutral interlocutor by going down to the south and trying to appease and appeal to go in some sort of way. But I think people are seeing through Gumi's act. They don't see Gumi as neutral. They don't see him as someone who can act as a mediator. And my suggestion to Gumi should stay far away from those places. As to whether people are going to pray over the place, of course, Nigeria needs prayers. But we need the prayer so that the government reacts and rises to its responsibility and takes the welfare and security of its people as its number one priority. The government owes the Nigerian people welfare, they owe them security. It is not Gumi's responsibility. And if Gumi is getting in the way, the SSS, DSSS, or whatever they call it, should invite him for a sustained and prolonged chat and find out what he's up to and the information that he has. But all this is cowboy activities going all over the place. I think a lot of people basically disdain that.
What if Gumi is moving around with no sinister motive, but just trying to unite people together? Don't you think we should look at that from that angle?
Well, that might be his motive, but his past antecedents, I don't think, are going to give him any credibility. For somebody to be able to move around, to negotiate, you must have some credibility. Even if you have purist agenda or purist motives, if people cannot trust you, then there's no point. A lot of people don't trust Gumi, and that's the problem. Unless we have a figure that is trusted, none of them can act as a mediator, moving from place to place, and taking photographs. So he can go as a tourist. He can take all the pictures he likes. That's not going to get us anywhere until he's able to build a level of trust.
The question is well pointed, Sheikh Gumi, as the chief advocate and intercessor. and also what the intermediary you spoke about that the other time, for the federal government and the terrorists?
Well, that's the big question. I just see him as a tourist, really. A tourist of some sort.
Oh.
Yes, a tourist. But a tourist with questionable and bent motives, you see, because his motives don't appear to be altruistic in the sense that, see his recent call before he visited those places, calling for Ministry of Earthsmen, going against the war against the terrorists, saying he's going to split Nigeria apart. So you will see that Gumi basically wants to appease. A lot of people, including myself, begin to see him as an appeaser rather than as a mediator.
Even said we should leave our forests, to guide for us. You can imagine some of these funny utterances from Shegumi. Away from that, let's look at this one. Nigeria loses 6 trillion naira fighting terrorism. EFCC boss.
All right, it says the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Abdulrashid Bawa, said the federal government has lost 5.4 trillion naira to tax evasion and spent 6 trillion naira fighting terrorism in Nigeria. Bawa made this statement while presenting a paper titled Combating of Crime, Corruption and Implication for Development and Security at the 38th Cambridge International Symposium on Economic Crime, organized by the Center for International Documentation on Organized and Economic Crime, Jesus College, University of Cambridge, United Kingdom. The EFCC boss was represented by Sambo Mayana, lamented over the amount of resources that could support the country's development being lost through criminal acts like corruption, tax evasion, money laundering, and others. The headline, Nigeria loses 6 trillion naira fighting terrorism. This is coming from the EFCC boss.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that will yawn at the hearing that they just yawn and they just say, oh, there they go again. Even the EFCC, they go abroad and say the right things. When it comes to doing the right things in Nigeria, we don't seem to have evidence of the right things. Because it's quite clear that not a lot of people want to come here for any tourist activity because of the lack of security. What's the point coming as a tourist and being hijacked by a terrorist? So until we get security in place, we will continue to lose funds in terms of that. And in terms of corruption, there is no indication that this government is very serious. On the whole, I mean, they may be serious with respect to some of the PDP operatives and APGA operatives. But people are not clear whether they're very serious when it comes to the APC political operatives and political membership. So there's a seeming unfairness. It may not be the case, but there appears to be an unfairness with how EFCC rather has been exercising its power. And until we see fairness, until we see justice, until we see a transparency in the way they go about it, we'll continue to lose a lot of funds. And also the third thing is that a lot of people, in terms of tax, have been evading tax, because they don't see anything good coming out of the government. They don't see resources, they don't see amenities. Until we begin to see a government that is responsive to the needs of the people, tax will continue to be a sore point where people will continue to pay the least possible tax so that they can get away with paying, because they don't see that their tax is delivering much. So it's a very complex and complicated picture that is presented. But I wish, rather than go to Cambridge, Jesus College, Cambridge, they came here, to our universities here, to Nigeria, and begin to work with some of the people that matter to resolve the crisis we have with corruption and tax evasion.
All right, Dr. Jadoko, there is a report here. The Lagos State Police Command is in the news again about the death of a certain Monsurat Ojuade, an 18-year-old girl who was shot dead by the Lagos State Police Command while they were trying to arrest a robbery suspect around Ijesha in Lagos State. Now, this is the second time this is happening, and it's making the news this year in a couple of months interval. Now, my question is this: why should we have this? And number two, don't you think there should be a legislation against the Nigerian police handling AK-47 rifles? Even when they want to check your papers along the road, they still swing the AK-47. In other crimes, police officers have just the baton or their tasers and all that, instead of just handling AK-47 rifles anyhow, and we have accidental discharges and all that every time.
Yes, it's quite clear that the rules and terms of engagement are very unclear and are not known to many of us. Secondly, I think we are still in a militarized environment. The reason why policemen started carrying arms and ammunition was because of the increase in the spate of armed robberies that occurred, particularly during the Dr. Ishola Oyenusi era. And that era continued from that point of view. So we are very militarized. And this police carry on these weapons with minimal caution. And of course, we have so many instances of accidental discharge. So I agree with you that the bearing of arms should be in extreme situations. Yes, you should have policemen with backup arms, but the people that deal with checking particulars and checking vehicles, there is really no reason for them to be harmed. There's no reason. And when they are curtailing when they're curtailing protests, peaceful protests, arms is not the best way to deal with those situations. I mean, I've faced police before in protest situations in the past, and there were no arms. Yes, they had the, batons and stuff like that, and tear gas. I don't think killing Nigerian citizens should be the first thing to do. I think trying to make them less violent should be the first thing to do. And of course, if it becomes very violent, you must find other methods to be able to curtail them. So this lady's incident is quite unfortunate. They have to get to the bottom of it. I don't know why it takes months and months and years to solve simple issues. It is quite clear from what people are saying that the Nigerian police was involved and by the unknown, what do you call them? It's unknown gunmen or non-policemen.
Doctor, this is a fresh issue. It's different from the other one. This just happened, I think, a few days or thereabouts ago.
9/11.
Oh, this one repeats the same old thing, which means that this is another one. We're going to have another one again. We're going to have another one. And not to identify the police. The other one that we're talking about, the policeman that did it has not really been identified. Now we have this one. The police still hasn't been identified. And we're going to have more until we begin to identify people and prosecute them. You understand? So thanks for that correction. We're going to have this again and again. So I'm not surprised that this is another one, that is occurring again. It becomes so blurred that even as an analyst, you begin to think it's the same old story all over again, but it's not. It's a story repeating itself again and again. And I think that's the tragedy of Nigeria, that you can predict what is going to happen, you can predict the regularity, and you can predict the result. And I think that's the disaster we face, and that's why many people are asking various questions, serious questions, about the policing arrangement, about the security architecture, and about the architecture of Nigeria itself.
All right, the lines are live now. 0705 500949 0809 7949. We see your comments too on Facebook, 32FM 949 Ibadan on Facebook. Okay, we go on a commercial break now. When we return, we take all of this feedback.
Sunshine makes the day better, meal times better, weekends better, chill times better, dates better, barbecues, beach parties, and even one bears better. Sunshine makes every bit better.
Lipton iced tea. Lipton iced tea, made from fresh tea leaves, soaked in hours of sunshine, and together with juicy fruit flavors, give you that deliciously refreshing taste. Top better life with sunshine in a bottle. Available in peach and lemon flavors. Lipton iced tea, deliciously refreshing.
Unbelievable, but true. Canada will issue over 1.2 million permanent visas between 2021 and 2023. Canada has incredible natural resources, most especially mineral resources, but less than 15% of those massive resources have been exploited. Reason? Canada's population is very small, less than 40 million compared to USA's 350 million and China's 1.6 billion, and these are countries with smaller land area than Canada. You can also take advantage of fantastic graduate and postgraduate education in beautiful Canada and prosper. There are well over 60 immigration programs to choose from. Let Jonathan King Limited take you through the simple process and relocate to Canada with members of your family. So take advantage and obtain your own form at Jonathan King Limited, 1st and 6th floors, Cocoa House, Ibadan, CMS Bookshop, Falagbade Street, beside the Cathedral of Our Savior, Ijebu-Ode.
Registration ends 28th of September 2021.
Egbògi kan ti délẹ̀ yìí, egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ ṣe ni, ó dára fẹ̀jẹ̀ gidi gan. Veneto cleanser ló ń jẹ́ o. Veneto cleanser ló ń jẹ́ o.
Ojú rẹ̀ ṣàjọlọ̀ lójoojúmọ́ kí làṣírí ẹ wà rí.
Veneto cleanser ni.
Já mi sí ọ̀rẹ́.
Veneto cleanser egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ṣe tí bádọ̀tí ara wọ̀ yá ìjà rẹ̀ wọ́n mọ́lẹ̀ ṣe wọ́n yẹbẹyẹbẹ. Inú tó ń kú tó ń dàrú gbòdògbòdò kò bára rẹ̀ èrí inú ẹ̀jẹ̀. Amọ̀nà ti dé o. Veneton cleanser egbòogi atẹ́jẹ̀ṣe tí a fi ewé àti egbò ṣe ní ọ̀nà tìgbàlódé. NAFDAC fòǹtẹ̀lù MA1 Nigeria Limited ni wọ́n gbé Veneton cleanser jáde. A wà ní nọ́mbà 17 ọba akínyẹlé off Adeogun street Aláàfin avenue Olúyọ̀lé estate Ring Road Ìbàdàn. Telephone 08034051533 fún títà àti rírà. Ìwọ náà darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Veneton cleanser àmọ̀tẹ́kùn egbòogi tí ń ya gbogbo kòkòrò inú ẹ̀jẹ̀ wẹ́lẹ́wẹ́lẹ́.
Babe, that girl must be using something.
Hey, Berry, what kind of something?
You to see how she's always smiling, displaying her 32.
You're cuckoo right. I know her secret. I know what she's using. She uses it twice a day.
Tell me her secret.
I'll give you a hint. ABZ.
ABZ?
Yes, ABZ is the secret. Close-Up contains antibacterial zinc, ABZ, which gives you 3 times more freshness and 3 times more protection. Better than your regular toothpaste. Now you know the ABZ secret.
The new Close-Up is her secret. Everybody must hear.
You can't keep a secret.
New Close-Up with antibacterial zinc. Triple the freshness, triple the protection.
Hello! We believe you're enjoying Titan Farms products like Titan Rice, Yam Flour, Rice Flour, Titan Oil, and others. Oh yes! With Titan Farms, there's always something more. Give your child the best gift by buying any of our lots at Titan Farms Estate, Upperland City, Monia, Idianyure, Regal Gardens, Soka, Cherry Court, Ilaji, and enjoy freebies like 500 blocks, 20 bags of cement, free survey, deed of assignment. That's not all. Here's the big deal. For every land you buy in your child's name at Titan Farms Estate, you can get a loan to sort your child's school fees if need be at no interest for up to 3 months. Yes, you heard me. No interest for 3 months. To enjoy this limited offer, quickly call 0906 007 9714 or visit Titan House opposite Motor Dealer Park, New Garage Road, Ibadan, or check us out on www.titanfarms.org.
Kids, Indomie welcomes you back to school. Have a session filled with lots of fun and excitement. Stay safe, stay healthy. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
All right, welcome back. It's still the Break of Dawn newspaper review on 32 FM 94.9, and we have the Three Musketeers here. And you can join the discussion. You can dial the number in case you're joining for the first time: 070-550-949, 080-970-949. Which one of these stories resonates with you this morning? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Adeshi Yamanala from Lebanon.
All right, shoot.
People that are saying the government should name the sponsor or the 400 sponsor of bandit. I'm not sure the government can do that. Because it appears, I'm not saying it now, it appears the government knows much about the bandits. And on the JSP by police, I do not see any difference between the real police and bandits. On Gumi coming to Buhu and going like that without any problem. Gumi is a bandit and should have been killed. That's the verse of today.
All right, that's an insinuation you shouldn't conclude. This is a comment from Adigo Kesheun on Facebook. He says, I think federal government should hands off on some collection of taxes in the country. States and local governments are close to people, so the taxes collected will be used for infrastructural development. And Raji Afiz Abidemi is saying, good morning, 32 FM. 6 trillion naira to fight terrorists. Is it not a foolish thing to spend such a huge amount in catching fishes and then drop the same fish back into the sea? You spent 6 trillion naira in fighting terrorists, and after you catch a huge number of them, you set them free on repentance mode. That's Raji Afiz Abidemi. Anoluwa Michael Adewale, Ola Olorun Nimunje, and Adeoye Aladejare, Ayefenka presenter, and all that. Good morning. Your greetings are acknowledged this morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Alaji.
Alaji Afara from Coca-Cola.
All right.
I think at this stage, we should praise the effort or commend the effort of the Operation Lavia Adone in Northeast and Northwest. I'm not a fan of this government because of their anti-people policy and their tribalistic policy too. But in recent times, I think they are having upper hand over the bandits. What I'm expecting them to do now is that they should have sent ground troops to the neighboring countries of Zamfara so that the fleeing bandits should be caught in the quagmire. Thank you.
All right, thank you for calling the radio station 070550949 080970949 from Isayin. This is Ogun Dijo Latif from Isayin. He says Gumi is a suspect that needs to be challenged by the federal government. If at all, he needs to visit the place, not at this time of insecurity.
Right.
Well, your thoughts there.
Let's take another call there. 0097000-949. Hello, good morning. Hello. I'm not sure it's ready for us. When you call us, please turn on the volume on your radio or move away from your radio set. 0705500-949. Hello, good morning.
Okay. 0705500-949, 0809700-949. Those are the numbers to call. We have here Taufik Hakim Banuso, Ibrahim Kozim, and Ilesomi Orire Dowu. Your greetings are well acknowledged here too. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from?
Sorry. Is it not?
Okay, you call us back 070-550-949, 080-970-949. This is the Breaker Dawn newspaper review on 32 FM 94.9. I am Chike Ubogo.
All right, 0705-500949, We still have Dr. Ojedo Kun on phone with us. Doctor, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
All right, I don't know if you have a reaction to some of the responses we got this morning.
Particularly the onslaught on bandits in Zamfara State by the Nigerian Army.
Yes. I didn't catch it, but I caught the one about Gumi, where people are suggesting that Gumi is not safe, it's not the right time, it's not expedient, and it's not proper for him to be moving around now between the north and the south trying to mediate anything. On the onslaught, I think we're just going to wait. It's early days yet. Let's just hope this will be wrapped up soon, because people there don't have access to phones. But you will ask the question, what's the use of phones when you have no life? So I think it's the right thing for the government to do, but they should also seal those states off and act quickly. They shouldn't allow this thing to fester. But beyond that, after the bandits or the terrorists have been dealt with, what are the social economic concerns? What of education? All those things that we need to be looked at, or else we are going to fester another generation of terrorists.
All right, Omo Batunde Ladimeji is saying Gumi is not a bandit. Prince Sikiru Giwa is saying, good morning. 6 trillion naira on banditry is careless, unacceptable, clueless by this government. Okay. Otumba Ayo Aderiola says, as for me, each state government should handle the tax of a state and face the expenses that emanate from the respective state, because federal government collecting it may be harmful to the economy of this country. I don't know how harmful it will be. Maybe you will explain further. 070-550-949, 080-970-949. You can join the conversation here on 32 FM 94.9.
All right, Dr. Jedokun.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we have to let you go right now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time with us.
And have a great day, Doctor.
Okay, bless you.
All right, we have to go now. It's been a wonderful time this morning. I am Chike Obogu.
Thank you, dear listener, for your time with us. I'm Olutayo Gwade. Have a great Monday.
And from me, I say thank you so much for your time with us. Good morning.
Ìkànnì Adẹ́rìn-Pòṣónú.
32 FM. The Pioneer Joy Station.
32 FM.
The station admired by other radio stations. 32 FM.
One tagline is never enough. 32 FM 94.9.